the education process is so important. If you look back in my playing career over 19 years, that gives you, the experience, and then the education and increasing your knowledge is really important. Our game is moving. As soon as you stand still, you get left behind. So, it's also important when you're working with young players, to acquire the knowledge how to develop young players, and then obviously working at senior level, the management of senior players and the ways of working. So yeah, very, very happy to finally get my license.
Okay. That was Coach Dillan Shepherd speaking about the licensing part from his side, because he just recently received his license, and it was made a big deal by Kaizer Chiefs. So, definitely it is an important part. Hopefully it's going to be different, because for me, honestly speaking with you guys, I've always been skeptical when it comes to Coach Dillan Shepherd. Hopefully things would be different, this time around. Except for that, he is someone that I feel like should have a blueprint by now about Kaizer Chiefs, how things should be run and everything else. But I'm happy with the fact that he is someone that believes in young talents and he loves young stars. So I can see the similarities between him and Coach Fernando Da Cruz, except obviously the levels of coaching. It's two different things. The other one is, top tier license, and then he's coming in second or close to a second. Hence, he is the second assistant coach, which gives Mahmoud Abbas the first assistant coach role. So hopefully it's going to be a great working relationship, and we do know he will be responsible mostly for making sure the development, what he's been doing actually, but now he's part of the senior team. So I feel like we will get to see him more a benchini, and obviously in certain moments and certain things. And if the coach is out probably doing something, then obviously Mahmoud Abbas will become the first coach, and then I'll be a second assistant coach. Or I don't know how to put it, but he will be there on the bench as someone that is trusted by the coach. So looking at that, definitely it is good. Now, moving on, we do have Umjitarapana Brian Baloyi, which he has commented in terms of Coach Fernando Da Cruz. And what he's saying will be shocking to most of you guys, but let's just have a look and so according to him, this is what he's saying. He says, I'm not going to beat around the bush about it. Yes, I'm happy that we have a new coach, but I do think he is the right man for the job. Only time will tell. I've said this before, and this is my humble opinion. Considering the situation Kaizer Chiefs are on right now, the only way to come out of it is by having a coach with broad shoulders. You need someone who understands the kind of pressure that comes with coaching Kaizer Chiefs. You need someone who has walked that path. With the Cruz, you are taking a chance. When you understand the pressure at Chiefs, not only of playing there, but also coaching there, you realize the current group of players lacks experience. The club is one of the biggest in the country, and having experience on the bench gives the team confidence and helps instill the belief that the players, when you lack experience both on and off the pitch, it becomes a problem. To get to the level of Mamelodi Sundowns and Orlando Pirates, you need experience on the bench and on the field. Do we have that? We can debate whether we have good players, but that's not the issue. It's simple for me, but out of the 15 players who are going to take it's simple for me. Out of the 15 players who are going to take them to the field next season, if fewer than 5 have won league titles or domestic cups before, then that's an inexperienced team. You need at least 10 players who have won at that level. We can argue about it, but look at Pirates. It took them 3 or 4 years to reach where they are now because they built the right players. On the other hand, Sundowns have constantly signed the best players over the years. Well, that is quite interesting coming from O'Brien Baloye. But honestly speaking, from my side, the experience is not players who have won the league, we have won trophies, we have done this, we have done that. For me, I feel like experience, it's players who do not need a lot of work. Yes, I do understand experience is something totally different. We are talking about experience of players being able to do something at a certain level or at different times in this analysis. You understand? But for me, it's not about that. Honestly speaking, how many? Let me make an example. How many league titles did Lucas Ribeiro win before joining Mamelodi Sundowns? How many did Brian Leon currently, who is a Sundowns player, win before joining Sundowns? There was a team back then that was called Bidvest Vets. I love making an example out of them because it was a team that a lot of people said it lacked experience. But at that one season that they came in, they did wonders. We were not expecting that. Your Mamelodi Sundowns was bowing down to that team. Your Pirates, every team that played against a Bidvest Vets, they understood that no, definitely this team is gunning for everything, and they were doing exceptionally well. But too, I know a lot of people don't remember that team, but I do, because a lot of players, a lot of quality players are coming from that club. So in terms of the experience, that is not something that I would say in Naturena. The only thing that I feel like is needed mostly at Naturena is people who are willing, people who are willing, people who are like dedicated to the club, and despite that, we need performers. We need top tier performers. Tina, every time when we sign new players, we are like, we need to give them time to adjust. Why don't we sign players? For example, Mboni Leon came in, started doing, and then started providing. You look at Tumakabi Delepo, came in, started providing. You understand? Those are the kind of players that we need as a club. Players who we know they are the right mentality, they have everything that ticks when it comes to our club, which is Kaizer Chiefs. So if we are going to say we need to sign players, we can do what Sikukune did. And where are they? Because they've signed players with experience. You understand? Players who have won league titles. You understand? So for me, it's not about that, honestly speaking. I think we just need the right players with the right mentality, and players who are performing. It doesn't beat around the bush, buffet to look at what Orlando Pirates is doing. For example, since he made an example with the Pirates and Sundowns, Pirates did not sign any players that have won the league. You understand? You have to think about it. They just signed players whom a lot of people thought would know these are just ordinary players. But look at how the team was built. Look at how they managed to be where they are currently. You understand? So it's not, for me, I don't think it's about experience of the players, but the quality of the player. So I guess that's where things tend to differ. You can have a player who has played in the World Cup, Avielana Fambul. You can sign a player who has never tasted the World Cup, who has never done anything that is big in his life. But then Uzut Magafialana show you flames. Look at your Rilim Fukings. Fukeng has never tasted anything before joining Orlando Pirates. And look at him on Orlando Pirates. You understand? So it's not about the experience, but rather the quality of the player. Experience, my letter. We've brought a lot of experience. Look at Gaston Serino, has a lot of experience, but then the quality, probably it's because the age-wise he's no longer there, but his quality has degraded a little bit over the years. But other than that, you can see Utum Chita, he had the quality, especially during his prime. But right now, I don't understand. He's a bit older now. But anyways, that's just my opinions. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Do you think Lente Kulino Brian Baloyi, we need players who are more experienced to at least, what this is squad, or do we need the best players that can fit into the system that we were trying to use, or we are trying to achieve? I don't know. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. I believe this is it. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you later on, or Ksasa, with something new. Peace.